Kane and Jake got back in town on the ins and outs show where you hear the sound. I got bars, Jake got a camera. I got no rhymes left. Oh yeah.
That was the worst one yet.
Okay, let me try again.
There you go. Okay, take two.
Okay, take two. Kane and Jake got back in town. I got bars. Jake got... No, I'm dead today. I've got no bars. I'm... Do you know what I feel like... Do you know,
That's a bad time to drink. Take a drink.
Oh, I think our volume might be too high. We're peaking. You know, when you play PlayStation controller and it's a Bluetooth controller and the battery's dying, and like your reaction time gets worse and worse when you're playing a game. I'm like that. Not that I've played PlayStation in like 10 years, but yeah, that's my reference for that. What's up, peeps? We back. It is Tuesday. It is, I'm guessing 10 a.m. 20 past 10 a.m.
Running late.
In the morning.
Had all the tech issues today.
We haven't had just us two in a while.
No.
It's nice to be back.
Fuck's sake, no.
I've missed you.
Missed you too.
How's life?
Busy. Busy. Yeah, just summer's booking up, man. Like, I was just organising my diary last night. I'm driving everywhere.
Don't moan to me about driving.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to moan to you about driving. At the moment I said it, I was like, fuck's sake, Ken's going to say something.
Don't moan. We were in the staff room at Wilkes yesterday. Burp. Me and Josh Warmby. And all the teachers were talking about like how much sleep they get a night. And they were like, yeah, I like it when I get like a good 8 hours sleep. Me and Josh looked at each other. We were like, 8 hours? Like, do you even work? Like, what do you mean 8 hours? Josh was like, 5 is a victory. I was like, 5 or 6 hours is like a win.
Do you really get like 5 or 6? Yeah, but you're an idiot and you stay up late for no reason sometimes.
I actually stay up working.
Yeah. Whilst watching UFC. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, yes. I'm doing social media promotion. And I am
talking shit on stories.
Yeah, and I'm studying. I'm doing research.
Okay.
On YouTube of dancers that I like.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I am also looking at old videos of people dancing and videos of myself, and I compare how I dance now to how I used to dance.
Ego stroke.
Yes, that, and also, oh my God, I used to be really good and now I'm not.
Do you think that?
Sometimes.
Do you? Do you think you're getting worse?
No, not as a dancer. But like my pickup sucks now compared to what it used to.
Right.
Like I watched a video the other day and it was like of us in Misha Gabriel's class in like 2014 and we picked up 16 eights in 90 minutes and did groups.
That's mad.
Like, what the fuck?
Sometimes I would look at like people with mad pickup and I'm like, how do you...
Dude, it's so much. Like,
how
it's
do
like,
you do it?
There's loads of us in it as well. So obviously, like there's like it's LA in it. So the standard's dope. It's like me, Michael Wilson, CJ Salvador, like just absolute animals in it. And like we picked up 16 and it's like intense choreo. And I was like, I could never do that now. Like doing Lisa's on Sunday, I messed up the first 4 counts twice.
Yeah.
In a row.
You just couldn't catch that rhythm pattern though, the dunk bit.
Well, I had it before the incident.
Groups.
No, I had it before the incident. And then after the incident, I come back brain frazzled. Because it didn't feel like that rhythm and that movement didn't feel natural to me.
Right.
And then obviously one of the students I thought broke her foot or some shit. So I 2 weeks in a row. So I was a bit distressed by that. And then I come back and I couldn't concentrate on the part that I was struggling with. And then body was having none of it.
Gone. It's funny sometimes you just get like a block to one step.
Dude, it was
everything makes sense. It was like one step.
It was 2 counts. 2 counts didn't make any sense. And not on her half. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But it just didn't feel right on it's not how my body wants to do it. So my body was like, I'm not taking that in. We're gonna skip that.
And it's funny, isn't it? It's like, don't know, you get like a block in it.
Yeah, and I think where I don't learn as much as I used to, like I'm really beginning to realize that like, this like you really do lose the skill of like picking up choreography.
Is it a skill? Because I've never had good pickup, but I've never taken.
Oh yeah,
lots
mine
of
used to be my pickup used to be dope, but I think it's because I trained so much. And like actually, if you look at a lot of the students, like they're constantly learning new stuff every day. That's why I think a lot of their pickup is really good because they're always taking in information, so they're so used to like having to take it in
And
like,
spit it back out.
and spit it back out. Whereas now I never do that.
Yeah.
Like it's like some cobwebs on that skill set.
Well, so I'm gonna get Nina to teach me like 4 to 8 eights in 15 minutes every week now, as like a little, because I don't take class very often, so it's my weakness is pick up speed. So I'm like, Nina, throw it at me every week, stress me out.
Yeah, it's like in lockdown I was doing a lot of trainings and my pickup was pretty good then, but
I mean,
that was 2 years ago now. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy, right?
2 years ago, because you were doing those videos where you learn like a combo from a video
From
for, like,
watching the video.
I don't know how you do that.
I would
just
download the video and just watch it. And then like if I like couldn't pick up a detail, rewind, like scroll back, rewind it a few times.
Right.
Just pick it up.
Impressive.
Yeah. But I was also doing like like people that how I like to dance.
Right. So you're choosing the...
So I wasn't being like I'm gonna do something that I'm really gonna that I'd struggle with in a room anyway. I was doing stuff which feels good on my body, like John and Marco's, Misha's, Mihas. The only one I did which was like not like my comfort zone was
CJ.
Yeah, it was CJ's one, and because it was
I
like
love the way he moves.
Plato, yeah. Like
We all know exactly what you're talking about now.
You know that song, right? It was like the Spanish Mexican kind of one. I might be completely wrong, so sorry if I offend anyone. But yeah, that one was the Strugs. As in out of my comfort zone. But my pickup felt so good then compared to now. Even in class, I'm like, but I also think...
Well, we should do it ourselves. We'll stress each other out.
Yeah, but you know, I think a part of it is that the only times I'm in a position where I'm picking up is also in a time when I'm in charge of the room. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm not actually in it. I'm not actually being the student.
Yeah.
I'm being the student. I'm making sure the teacher is okay. I'm making sure the students are okay. I'm wondering what's going on. I'm making sure you're okay. Like, you know, you're like...
You don't even worry about
me. I know. I always worry about you.
That's not a good sign.
I get scared that camera might be too heavy for you.
Shut the fuck up.
So, you know, you're like always like... I would say I'm half in, half out. Mm-hmm. So, like, maybe that doesn't help.
No, you definitely... It's hard to...
Do you feel the same though when you're in class? Because like, say when you're in like doing the program and you're learning, sometimes you're learning, but then you're running and grabbing your camera,
trying to get shot.
Like, do you feel the same?
Yeah, it's like I'm
half invested,
and so but I kind of accept that I'm half invested. I know I'm not going to get it, so I'm okay with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get stressed by it.
I wonder how many people are half invested in the class so much of the time, because like maybe they've like looked at their phone in the middle of lesson or distracted them, or like they've got other shit going on and they can't detach from it, so they're only half invested in the room.
Probably all the time. Like I've seen it so many times where someone goes and checks their phone and they come back a totally different person.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, and that's why I think phones in class are such a dumb idea, because one thing and it can take you straight out of it.
Yeah, it's true. It's like sometimes I'm like, if I'm teaching and I have obviously have to have my laptop there, and I'll get an email through. It throws me so hard, and it's like availability, or it's like some news that you don't want, or like something to do with like
maybe you
my
should
house, or like, you know, you're just like, fuck.
Maybe you should mute it. Can you mute it with ease?
I have no idea. Probably
wrong.
Can, but you know, you're just like, sometimes you'll be in mid of it and you're like, distracted, throw me off. What did we do in the last day? Like, I've no idea. I come back with a complete different vibe. Yeah, it's hard. So I wonder how many students are like
doing that
not really that present. Because I remember when I was training, like we had a BlackBerry. Like, so you weren't really getting like many notifications. No. Like someone might BBM pin you, but like you didn't need to rush.
You just
get
an email from Top Man at best.
Yeah, rest in peace, Top Man. Like, you know what I mean? So there were obviously other distractions then, but I feel like we're so much more distracted now.
I never had a BlackBerry.
You never had a BlackBerry?
Never had a BlackBerry.
Why?
Because like my parents would never. I would just had a shitty Nokia brick phone.
Oh, I've got 3 brand new BlackBerries at home if you want them.
All right.
Do you know they're actually like, you can't even use them. Like the service in them and everything is dead.
Discontinued.
So I have 3. So if anyone wants them, I'll sell them to you. Good price. You
can use it as a good paperweight.
Yeah. A weapon.
They were bricks, man.
Nah,
like Nokias, bro, back in the day. Oh my days.
I think they're BlackBerry Pearls. They're sick. I remember it used to be like, you'd meet someone, you'd be like, what's your BBN?
Let's say I never had the privilege.
Like, and you'd be like, you'd leave and you'd be like, I got a pin. Like, I met this girl.
Now it's like, do you have Snapchat?
I got a pin. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now it's like, send a dick pic. I don't, obviously, I'm engaged. But I've never actually had Snapchat.
Never have I had it when it first came out for like a month, and I was like, this is dog shit.
I had it for like 2 weeks, and I was like, this is trash.
All people do is just send photos of them at house parties. That's all like, no, this is what I had it when people used to go to house parties.
And what I don't get is like people we're such boomers.
We're such boomers.
What I don't get is people send a photo and then type over the top of the photo, and they'll do like a photo of like the pillow or like of nothing.
Why don't you just text them?
Just send a fucking text.
Like, it's funny, like, I've been cussed out so many times for voice noting by like younger generations and stuff.
Voice notes the way.
Mate, I get so much done because of voice notes. Yeah. So much done.
I've not got time to type.
No. Do you remember the days where, this is just a throwback, throwback Tuesdays?
Yeah.
When you could only have 12 texts in your phone. Like on a Nokia, you'd be able to have like the storage for like 12 texts and that was it.
No.
Like, when like proper like Nokia brick phones, you could only have like 10 to 12 texts.
Nah, man, I think your parents just got you a knockoff Nokia.
Yeah, honestly, when like, and you had to pay like 15p a text.
Oh, I remember that. I remember when you could only have so many characters.
Yeah. So like 160 characters or whatever it was.
And you'd be like finding what words you can take spacing out of so they'll still understand it. And you'd put like and if you had like that or a plus sign, you'd be like, I don't need a space either side of that because people don't know what it is.
God, yeah. I used to spend so much money on. At one point, I had this is so bad. I got my mum's bank details. I kept on topping up. I spent like 100 quid in a month once. Because I just didn't know the concept of it. I was in trouble.
Did you used to do proper boomer session today? You'd have like free house landline calls on a landline for an hour. So I'd ring
hang up at 59 minutes.
I'd ring the girls in school and it'd be like, we're on 58 minutes, it's coming. I go to 59, you'd hang up and call back. You'd be like, yeah. And I remember if you forget and you see 61 or something like that, you're like, fuck.
Mom's going to kill me.
Yeah.
MSN?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. MSN. Go home after school and talk to all the girls that you wouldn't talk to in school.
Yeah, you have to dial up your internet, turn the phone off to get on the internet.
So bad.
Wow.
We're old.
Or you under 25-year-olds are thinking...
Which is like all of our demographic.
Which is like thinking, what are you talking about? Anyway, yeah. So you've been busy.
Busy talking shit, apparently.
Dude, I feel like I've been so busy. I was telling you earlier, I feel like I'm dance studioed out. Like I'm super grateful that I get to always be in dance studios and do like what I love. But I feel like I've put so much focus lately into like, I want to teach as much as I can. And I want to like be in dance studio as much as I can. And it's paid off. And I'm so fucking grateful for it. So I don't want it to change. Like, I'm not saying I don't want to be in the studio, putting it out there. And for everyone who hires me, thank you. I want to be there. I really want to be there. But I just feel like even on my days off, somehow, by days off, I mean day, because I have one day off a week. I feel like I keep ending up back in the studio.
What day is your first day?
Yeah. I don't know why. You just said like, how do I, or even
because then you're prepping on that day off.
Yeah, I end up having to think about dance because I'm prepping for 6 other days worth of teaching.
I don't know how you get the prep in.
No, me either.
I don't know.
Like this has been this month has been throwback month. Like
just repeating
like super old combos and stuff. Because obviously I've like where I'm now. I haven't been at performers this month because they've had assessments, but I've been doing an extra day at Wilkes on the Monday because I've been free. So I've been doing a showpiece for Wilkes and a showpiece for Addict. And like, I've never done really like showpieces for colleges before, only for like UDO teams. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of a little bit different.
It's different.
It's a little bit different. Although if you look at my pieces, they just look like really good UDO pieces.
You have to show me a video.
I watched them back and I marked them on my UDO criteria. I'm like staging. Stagecraft, good. Formations, good. Performance, good. Technique, not to you guys, to me. So where I've been like really putting a lot of focus to make sure I deliver like the best I can for that, my prep time for classwork has kind of suffered.
Right.
So it's been proper throwback.
When you do stage stuff, do you think about formations?
What, when I'm choreographing?
Like, do you go staging steps or do you go staging?
Steps first. Like to me, like I feel like people choreograph differently. Like some people choreograph visually, some people choreograph for feeling, some people have the ability to do both. Like I choreograph for what it feels like first, not what it looks like. like,
Do you
which
know- do you
isn't
know the-
always the best thing for stage.
Do you ever like hear a part of the song and go, I would love to do this staging wise at this moment?
Not very often, but like, so like in the Addict piece I'm doing, it like it's Justin Bieber Love You Different, and it goes gullet, 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 and I was like, that would make a dope canon. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but that would make a dope canon.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you find that you start to think about the song differently?
yeah, but because I never really. I always do class combos. I never do like stage
Yeah, yeah,
choreo
'cause
or
it's
like
like a totally
performance
different
stuff.
way of thinking about
so
it.
like my brain has been thinking differently for this, and like even with the Wilk students, I'm doing Get It Started by Black Eyed Peas.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, right, like even deciding it, I was like, I needed like a crowd pleaser song, like a hype song, and then even making it up, I'd be like, oh, these like. I already had the part of it made up, but everything else was like, these would be nice cannons. Like I can bring people in on a cannon, or like, I don't know, just bring in different elements, which is when I make class combos. Obviously, I never think that way.
No.
It's cool. But yeah, studioed out, man.
But good studioed out.
Good shootout. Grateful. Been busy, busy, busy. But massive shout out to like, I mean, shout out to everywhere that I teach. Like, I'm grateful for you all and you're all dope. But like, the Addict students have been so dope because I've never taught them really before. And I've just got to go in and do a piece with the third years. So like, grateful that I've been trusted with that. But like, their work ethic is dope. Like, and they're working their ass off. And then like, a huge shout out to my Wilkes first years. Like, doing a piece with first years, like, that they've done so well. Like,
Nice.
they've exceeded my expectations
Right.
as
Yeah,
first
amazing.
years. Like, you're like, oh, are they all going to deliver to the level of like what my brain sees it as? Because my brain, you know what I'm like. I set the standards so high. So like, even when people go, that's good, I'm like, nah, it could be better. Like, that's just what my brain does. Like, they've fucking roasted, man.
Sick.
Super
What
proud
song
of
do you do for them? Is that Black Eyed Peas one?
Get Started, and then Love You Different for Addict, because I was just like crowd pleaser songs, and they're nice to dance to. Yeah. Anyways, what are we talking about today?
So I know quite a few people who have taken some rejections lately, some no's. So I thought a good topic for today would be no's and lows.
No's and lows.
No's and lows.
What are they getting no's on? Like, is it you? Love life.
No, no, as in people getting rejected from auditions. I thought that would lead into a good topic of kind of like dealing with the low moments of life, whether that's dance related or life related.
Okay, dope. So I guess
Let's start with the no's first, and
As
then
in,
that'll probably
like-
lead into the lows.
like audition, dance, life,
Audition, endorsing no's.
lows. Where do we start? I feel like in this industry, you have to just learn how to deal with it. You're going to get a lot of it, probably more than any other industry. I think we've kind of briefly spoke about this before, but like if you work in a bank or something, how many times are you going to audition for like a job promotion? Once every 3 years, maybe once a year if you're lucky. If you do twice a year, like Jesus, like you're going for 2 promotions in a year, that's crazy. In dance,
It's like every week.
every week, if you're lucky to get an audition
Yeah,
every week.
yeah.
I feel like there's not auditions like that anymore. Like when I was in LA, I was doing like 3-4 castings a week.
Really? A
Yeah,
week?
A week, bro. Like for different things, like commercials. Like
Is that just because of where you were, or is it just like the status of the culture at the time?
I think because I think because of where I was, I think because of where I was, but also the fact that I was hustling. So I was looking for work, like an opportunity like you've never seen.
Right.
So I was on like LA casting, and every morning and every night I'd check it and apply for everything, hoping that something lands. Do you know what I mean? So it was very extreme. I'm sure it's probably still the same in London, but I never
You don't look for it?
did it like that in London.
No.
Because I kind of did more of the stuff I wanted to do than what I needed to do.
More selective.
Yeah. And I taught as well. So money wasn't as stressful as it was in LA. But I feel like there aren't as many auditions and stuff now. But I don't know if that makes it easier, because then I feel like there's less opportunity for yeses. So if they become no's, it kind of might be harder, right? Because
Right.
like
It's more of an impactful no.
Yeah, like so say when I was in LA, I was doing so many castings and stuff. Say I did like 3-4 a week, and 90% of them might be a no for a casting. Like if it was dance stuff, I would actually normally do well. But if it's just casting where you're going in and you have to like read a script or act or pretend to do something, I'm shit at that stuff. Like I was awful. Like
So you kind of had an expectation to not.
yeah, and no's kind of became like a common trend, and I'm in the we're the best in the world are. But I feel like if you never get to go to auditions and then you go, say you do like 6 a year.
Yeah. And
Which
you get
probably
hit.
now is probably a decent amount of auditions. I don't know. Like if people know how many there are, holla.
Holla, holla.
And you get 6 no's. That's a year's worth of
That's
no's.
a year's worth of no's, rather than getting 6 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like and going, oh, there's another one in a month's time.
Yeah.
Or like if there's only 6 and you get all no's, like that must be really hard. But I think you have to be able to go. You have to be able to assess yourself. I think that's the biggest takeaway. What I've figured out is like you have to know where you're at, know your strengths and know your weaknesses, and like if you get a no, be able to dissect why you've got a no.
There's an opportunity to learn from it, right?
Yeah, like, because if you just drown in your sorrows or dwell in your sorrows, whatever you want to say, like, there's no benefit from this.
No.
Like, you're only going to create a negative environment for yourself. So, like, for me, if I got a no, I would try and figure out why I got the no. And then how can I improve on it next time to avoid that no?
Well, I guess that's the hard thing is you're never told, right?
No,
Like, no one's ever going to give you feedback.
Sometimes maybe if you ask for it, but I don't think very often. I've never been given feedback.
No.
Like-
Are you ever in a position to ask for feedback? If you get to final round, let's say.
I think you are if you have a relationship with the person who's giving
Right.
you a no. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, say it was for Brian Freeman and I got a no.
You could
I
probably
feel
ask
like
her.
I could go to him and be like, can you just tell me, like, can you give me some feedback on what I did, what I could do better? And it might be as simple as like, do you know what? We just didn't want a white ginger guy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
or like,
It could be a look.
Yeah, you're too short. Or you're too good. Oh, that's funny.
Do you think... For me, I love it when people ask for feedback on any subject. Mm-hmm. I always think it shows the opportunity, like their desire for growth. Do you think if you are getting to like final rounds, you are in a position to ask the choreographer or whatever, even if you don't have a relationship, what you could do better? Because they're probably going to remember you if you're in like the final stages, right?
Yeah, I think read the room. Like, I think if they seem like they're approachable, you know, and there's not loads of you, go up, say thank you so much for your time. If you have any feedback, I'd
love to hear back.
really appreciate it. Some choreographers might love that, but then some might not. Like, I think it's just it depends.
It depends thing.
And like, kind of like shoot or shoot. Like, just take a shot and see what happens.
See what happens.
But
'Cause I don't
but I'm
think
not
you ever-
saying it's going to go well. Like,
I can't
some
imagine anyone getting pissed off, right?
No, but some choreographers might not like the confrontation or like might not want to be able to go, you just weren't good enough. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, they might not have the want or the desire or the need to tell someone that. But I don't see any harm in it. If it was me and someone came up to me and asked me for feedback, I would be fine giving it.
I think you'd be happy to.
Yeah. But I don't think it's the same for every choreographer. And maybe like, do they have time? Like, you don't know. Like, do they want to? They might have just been auditioning for 7 hours.
Yeah.
The last thing they
But
might
like,
want to
do you
do
think you
is
could
give
like DM
someone
him after or
feedback.
some shit? Or do you reckon that's crossing boundaries? Again, I know it's so individualized because obviously you've spoken about other choreographers who like don't want to be DM'd and stuff, and that's fair enough.
Personally, I myself wouldn't be hesitated by like, I don't know if that's the right words. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't be phased by it.
I wouldn't be phased by going, hey, thank you so much for a great audition. If it was a great audition, obviously. If it was a shit one, I wouldn't say thank you for a shit one, or I wouldn't lie. But if it was a good audition and I got to the end and I didn't get it, maybe I'd be like, thank you so much for a great audition. Any feedback would be really appreciated. Hope to see you again soon. And then leave the ball in their court. If they don't respond, like, just understand that they're busy.
That'd be,
Or they've got other shit going on. Like,
yeah. No, because I think again that must be the hardest part. It's like there's no closure to the no. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like as humans, for whatever reason, we need closure for like everything.
but I think you can find your own closure. Like, if you're smart about it, like, maybe instead of having to be told why you got a no, try and figure out why the people who got yes got a yes. So like,
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's going to be clues, but there's never going to be a definitive.
no, but there kind of is.
Right.
Like,
but as
if
you said, it could
if
be like a
you're-
looks thing. Could be we didn't want to ginger dude.
100%. But I feel like if you're truly and brutally honest with yourself, like, dude, I know if I'm in an audition with like Misha Gabriel, like, we're both the same height, we're both white, and he gets it over me.
You know he did a better job than you.
I know he's better than me.
Right.
I know he'll dance rings around me with one arm behind his back. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, I think it's about being brutally honest where you're at.
Right.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, or if I'm in there with someone who has an extra skill set that I don't have and they get it, it's about being able to acknowledge, like, oh, they actually have a tool
They
that
can trick better than you.
They have a tool that I don't have. Like, and that's okay. Like, if it's we get to the final round and they say, right, tops off, and the guy next to me looks better, and he gets it, but we're as good at dancers, that's probably why. And that's okay. You just have to be real with yourself and acknowledge it. That's why when I always made sure I was always in the position to be booked.
Yeah.
Like, in
terms of like physique and skill set.
I was never hungover. Like, I was always looked fresh. I never looked tired, even though I was tired, but I drank so much damn water and ate so good to like counteract all these things. So I always looked at the best I could be, and I was always training. So like, I was always at the best point that I felt like I could be at, even though I could always have done more.
Two left, no nose for
I wanted to remove all the reasons of saying no that I had control of. I can't control that I'm 5'8". I can't control that I'm ginger, but I'm not dyeing my hair. I can't control that I'm white, but I can control what I look like. I control what I dress like. I can control how I present myself. I can control how I dance. So I made sure all of those, or I was always working on those to be progressing. They could always be better, but I was always working on them to be as high as they could be to avoid the no's. If I got a no, I would go, okay, why? As opposed to being like going and crying about it.
Yeah.
And just like not using it as a learning curve.
What's the quote? I never lose, I either win or learn.
Yeah. And that's genuinely my mindset. Like, I always figure that out. Or like, if I get a no, so like when I've auditioned for Magic Mike in London, I mean, like, I'll say it loud and proud. Like, I feel like I roasted the audition. In fact, they told me I roasted the audition. They were like, nailed it. And then we got to the interview part, and I had the worst interview of all time.
What? Go on, elaborate. What they interviewed you about?
It was just like, they're amazing. Like, they're the loveliest humans in the world. But like, it came to the interview, and I was stressing because it was like lots of variables, which created an uncomfortable environment for me. So like, I rushed after my things. I had to get a train to go and do a show. And I was afraid that if I was late for the train, I wouldn't make the show. I'd lose the current tour I was on.
Yeah.
So that's one stress. I was 1,000 degrees because I'd just been dancing. I put on a nice outfit for the interview because I knew it was being filmed. You know, I was really hot. I was sat in front of a glass window at Pineapple, heat coming through. Ginger, burn, I die. Like, two stresses. They're trying to get the cameras ready. You know how you have malfunction earlier with the camera? Same thing there. They couldn't figure out why one of the cameras wasn't like focusing properly or some shit because of the light coming through.
Yeah.
So then me and the choreographers, who are amazing people, like the nicest people ever, they were just talking to me as if we're friends. And they were asking me how my family is and stuff like that. Because obviously I'd lost my brother, and the last time I'd had big interaction with them, my brother had passed away. So they're asking how we're doing and stuff, and I was like, like, plodding along, like,
so
it is what it is. And like, the only way to describe it, and I think I've said it on here before, is like, I felt like, well, before we get there, so they asked me how it was, and then they were like, oh, the camera's done, cool, we'll start interviewing now. And I felt like they'd said like, let's jump in the swimming pool, and I had no armbands on and I couldn't swim. And then they were like, we're getting out now. And I felt like I was left in there and I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
So like, my brain went to this place where I was thinking about like the trauma of losing my brother.
To switching up.
To switching off and
mode.
then going, hi, I'm Kane and I'm auditioning for da-da-da. I couldn't get out of it. Do you know what I mean? And that's not their fault. It's totally my fault that I couldn't like switch it up and adjust. So like, I had the worst interview of all time. It's just the dumbest answers in the world. Just spoke absolute dog shit. And then like, I left. As soon as I left, I was like,
you put your head in your hands. Like,
I was like,
you knew.
what have I done? Like, then your brain's going, I hope my dancing was enough. And I didn't get it.
Right.
And I remember like sitting on my tour bus for Dream Boys in the bunk bed, crying my eyes out in the bunk bed after a show when I got the email. Like, well, I didn't even get the email saying I didn't get it. I knew everyone else who had got it.
Right.
And then I emailed my agent being like, any update? And they were like, I don't think it's this time, mate.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like...
It's crazy that the interview was the deciding factor.
Well, I don't know that it was.
But if I high suspicion.
But if I could guess.
Yeah.
Like, it would be that. Do you know what I mean? And I remember crying in my bunk bed and I was like, okay, I'm going to dwell on it because like, it was one of my dream jobs, and I feel like I lost it because it was my fault.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like I didn't lose it because I wasn't good enough. I lost it because I fucked up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was a learning lesson. So I was like, cool. Like, I'm never gonna let myself be in a vulnerable position where I'm gonna make that mistake again. As opposed to being like, I could be like, it's their fault. They started talking to me about this.
Yeah.
No, it's not. They were just being lovely people, and I couldn't control that feeling, you know, that emotion. So like, to me, that's a learning curve. So like, what are you learning when you get your nose? So that was my lesson. Like, I'm not gonna, if I fuck up, it's on me. It's no one else.
Yeah, failure leaves clues, right?
Yeah.
No, dope. I mean, so something that I've so when I first opened the gym, which obviously was a very up in the air decision, because I had 2 weeks to decide whether or not I wanted to open a gym, and it was a massive investment. I put my whole life savings into it, liquidated everything. Had no idea how to run a company, full stop, you know. And I went into the venture or journey, and I said, I'm giving myself permission to fail. It's not an excuse to fail, but I'm giving myself permission to fail, because what I know is that I'll learn so much in the process. And so I've just put my life savings up, and I said, I will happily lose every penny in the process as long as I know I'm walking away with like knowledge and experience.
Instead of paying for a degree, you're paying for this
I'm
lesson.
that's kind of one of the ways I looked at it. It was like, I'm paying the same amount of money as a university degree, but I'm just putting it into a business.
Yeah.
And like, it's a mindset I've tried to adopt quite a lot now, is permission to fail. So I'm allowed to be shit in this class because I know it's out of my comfort zone. I'm not giving myself permission to be shit, but I'm allowing myself to be, because I'm out of my depth and out of my comfort zone. And that's been a really helpful thing for me. Yeah, permission to fail. That's one of my ways of dealing with uncomfortable situations.
I'm trying to think what else I do to deal with like no's or like rejection within the industry. Like, I always feel like you're always going to have some sort of like sadness or bitterness, especially if it's something you want. There's nothing I don't like it when people go like, they got to know and they go, didn't want it anyway. And it's like, well, you did.
You did, because you would have gone to audition.
You shouldn't have gone. And if you did get it, you'd have been buzzing about it.
Yeah.
Like, but I think it's okay to have that moment of like, I'm gutted. Like,
good, yeah. You're being real with yourself.
You have to get it off your chest. But like, you know, if you need to go and talk to someone, or go and get an ice cream, or go and have some nice food to like cheer yourself up, like, have that moment and then get over it.
Yeah, I think give yourself
time to grieve.
Yeah.
Is that the right word, grieve?
Oh yeah, it's a form of loss, I guess. But yeah, I think like something that I see a lot of people do around me is they go, right, I'm giving myself a day to be moody, and after that I'm switching it up again. And I think that's quite a helpful way of doing things, because it's like, again, you're giving yourself permission to be upset or whatever, but you're going, but I'm going to become better from this.
Yeah, but then at the same time, you have to choose your moment of when you're going to do that, because you can't go from like, you got to know to that audition to go to work. To go and teach. You can't take that with you. Bitch. Or you can't go like to an environment where you're dictating the space, or dictating other people's day, or having an impact on other people's day. You've got to take that. You got to take that loss for you. I can't come and make your day shit then. Because I've had something bad.
And I think that comes down to like self-talk.
Yeah.
Like if I took a loss for a thing and then we were doing this podcast, for example, let's say I received a bad email, I would have told myself, I'd go, right, Jake, you need to be this character throughout this podcast, and then after you can be a grumpy little shit after.
Do you know what? And like, so this, I get this a lot teaching at like colleges, where obviously students are in that college like 8 hours every single day. So I teach at 3 different colleges now, like, and over the past 10 years, I've taught loads, like not even at colleges, just teaching in general. But like at college students, happens a lot, is like they come into the studio and they let the outside factors affect that inside. So like they'll come in the studio and they'll be like, I'm just having a really bad day. And I'm like, that's okay.
But you need to get rid of it.
Because you're here to do a job. You're not getting paid to do this job, but your job is for you to come in, absorb as much information and make you better at what you want to achieve. So if you're going to let that boyfriend troubles, or like your landlord sending you a shitty message come and affect your day of training, you have to figure out a way to turn that off. But like, and a new thing is like students be like, this is taboo. Again, sorry if this pisses anyone off, but people going, I'm really struggling with my mental health. Like, and they'll come in and be like, I'm really struggling with my mental health. I'm not going to do this class. And I want to go, what do you think that not doing this class is going to help?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
what is it actually going to achieve?
Maybe doing this class might help distract you from the thing that's bothering you.
Yeah.
If this is the
Especially
thing
dance.
if this is the thing that's not helping towards your mental health, then maybe you need to take a step back and go, is this for you? Mm-hmm. Because do you think Alphaba can, before she goes on stage, go, do you know what? Mentally, just not with it today.
Not with it today.
So I'm not going to go on. Fuck no. She's fired. Like,
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, you have to get rid of that mindset sometimes as a performer that it's not about you. Mm-hmm. Like, do you think a surgeon goes in and goes, guys, I'm just feeling really tired and drained today. I'm not going to go and save that person's life. It wouldn't happen, right?
No.
I mean, this is me guessing because I have no idea about brain surgeons or doctors. But like when I'm teaching, like, doesn't matter what my day is like. I can't project it onto the students.
No.
I can't go in and be like, do you know what, guys? Just not in the mood today. I'm feeling really mentally tired, or like I'm mentally struggling. So I'm not going to teach you. I can't do that because it affects everyone else.
And I think we are filled with excuses and external blame. I don't know where I'm going with this, if I'm honest. We're very excuse generated because I think it makes us feel better about ourselves. I kind of said this in the last podcast with Hannah.
Yeah.
But it's how do you switch off from your external to your working environment?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I don't know. I feel like I just have this ability to go like, the show must go on. Mm-hmm. Like, and I feel like that's what I was always taught. Like, doesn't matter what you're feeling. Doesn't matter what happens to your costume. Doesn't matter if you like something, you just get on with it. That's kind of what I was brought up as, like within dance. That's kind of what I was always said. Like, cool, just go on, figure it out. Make the most of the best. Do the best job you can with it. And I feel like that's just carried across into my everyday life. That's become a life skill, not a performance skill. It's like I've said, like I'm sure I said it on here before, but like my brother died as I was going on set for a vodka commercial. They offered me to go home. I was like, no. Like if I go home, that sabotages everybody else on set. That sabotages my partner who's rehearsed for 3 days. Like sabotages everyone else. This moment isn't about me.
Right.
It's about making sure the job gets done. So I'm like, my brain goes to that place. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I grieved and I was like, give me a dressing room on my own. I need to go and be on my own. I can't go and have small talk with people, but the show must go on. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I have that skill set across the board. You know what I mean? Like no matter what, like if you think of that time we were in here and I was having house drama going on, like we're still in the podcast. We're still like the show must go on. Like, and I just think that's where my mindset is. I don't know how it's got there. I do think it's just from my dance training.
Do you apply that logic outside of dance?
As in
like, I think me and you have a very similar approach to life. We're quite brute forcey. Mm-hmm. We will just go and go and go and go. Like, do you ever like stop and address any emotional bullshit that you're going through?
Nah, never.
And do you feel like you need to? Because some people just...
I don't know, like Cisco always says to me, he's like, you never address anything. You always just... Because my brain goes like, think like Dory, just keep swimming. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, just keep swimming. You'll get over it. And Cisco's always like, no, you need to address it. You need to talk about it. You need to do this. And I'm like, nah, just keep moving. Like... Do you think that works for you? For me...
If you're like really, really honest with yourself?
Yeah, for me it works.
Like, do you ever like...
Because that's why I'm successful. Like that in what I determine successful.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not successful in what other people determine successful, but in what I determine successful, I'm successful. And that's why. Because I don't let things pull me back. Mm-hmm. Because as soon as I start letting things pull me back, that's when I can find excuses to not do stuff. Like I didn't want to come here this morning. My alarm went off. Hallie was cuddling me on the bed at 7 a.m. She never cuddles me.
Does she not?
No, she loves Georgia more than me. She jumped on the bed. She was cuddling me this morning. I was so freaking tired. Like I said to you earlier, I'm exhausted. I feel burnt out. I was like, I could really do it like just not doing off. Today. I was like, we've banked like 7 episodes or some shit. Not that many, but like I was like, I can afford to skip today. And then I snoozed for 10 minutes. My alarm went off again. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go. And then I was like, I literally went, if I stay in bed, is that going to help me in a year's time?
I like that. What does this behavior look like in a year's
What does
time?
this mean to me? If I get this extra 2 hours in bed just today, like, is that going to help us build this brand? Help us achieve our dreams? And then I went, oh, I'm not letting me down by staying in bed. I'm letting Jake down as well. Nah, get the fuck up, Kane. Got up, had a shower, had 2 coffees, walked Hallie, come here. Like, that's how my brain goes.
Right.
Even though I'm exhausted and I could have done with the laying because tomorrow I'm leaving at 4:30 a.m. again.
I think to go on to the idea of like, what does this look like in a year's time is, I think we're so wrapped up, again, this is such a like obviously discussed topic, but like instant gratification, we need to start looking at delayed gratification. Like, what does my approach to mental health, what does my approach to day-to-day habits, what does my approach to my work ethic look like in 2 to 5 years time?
Yeah.
Like I base everything on what does this look like in the future? Like all my, like for example, like when I keep using my business as a reference, but it's what I know. My whole mindset was the last 3 years of running a company, almost 3 years, is this is just a skill gaining period of my life. This isn't my make £1 million company. This isn't my forever company. This isn't my like, this is just me learning skills.
Yeah, this is your college.
This is my college. This is my life. And again, it's like that permission to fail idea is like, I'm giving myself permission to fuck up and explore.
Yeah.
You know, like I use my personal Instagram as an example as my test.
Yeah.
So I put shit out, which might swim, might not.
Yeah.
Just to see how it responds. So that when I make more of a business account based on other stuff, I know how to approach that situation more. So it's, what does this look like in the near term future? You know, the quote, live for today.
Yeah.
You know, the full quote is live for today in preparation for a better tomorrow.
I think you've told me that before.
You know, it's like with the live for today, I don't actually like.
Yeah.
It's or like you only live once.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do live once. So make it so the rest of your life is better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I kind of fall between both. I'm kind of like,
I think there's moments to live for today and take time to smell the flowers.
like sometimes like off topic, we've just bought a new rug for the flat. Like I wanted
This fucking rug.
Like, dude, I love this fucking rug. It's a white fur rug. Like, I have a dog. It's the dumbest idea in the world, but I wanted this damn rug. And Georgia was like, I don't think it's very practical for us to have a dog. And I was like, why do we always have a dog? I don't think, well, she didn't want us to have the dog either, to be honest. She said, that's not practical. She's like, this isn't practical when we're going to have
when you have a dog.
When we have a dog. Like, what if she comes in with muddy paws and climbs on it? And I was like, why do we always have to think practically? She's like, yeah, but it'll be ruined in 6 months. I was like, why do I have to think about 6 months? Why can't I just enjoy it for what it is now? So I feel like there's moments where
that's materialistic.
Yeah, for sure. But even things like sometimes I'm like, which isn't materialistic, I'm like, I want to do this today. Like, oh, I probably shouldn't, because like, shouldn't spend that money on us going and doing this nice experience today. But I'm like, no, we should go and have this experience today. Like some things I'm like, you have to live for the moment and just embrace it and treasure it and be like, let's just go and do something. Because there's a different benefit. It's not a financial benefit. It might be another kind of benefit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think obviously you have to find the balance between them. But I think it's mainly like, for me, it's about behaviors and habits. That's what I think about. Like, what does it look like in like 5 years time? Like, what does my eating habits look like? What does my training habits look like? What are my drinking habits? Blah, 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 blah. Like, I think that's your long term. But spending money is a habit and it is a behavior.
Yeah.
So it is hard.
It's one of my kryptonites. Shoes.
Trainers.
Shoes. I walked in with one pair for you today and I tried buying a pair this morning. And I tried buying 2 pairs yesterday. I failed. So, okay, you're not a performer, but how do you deal with like lows and no's?
Okay, so there was a time quite recently where, again, business, I received a letter which completely threw me off. It was potentially the death of my company. And for 2 days, I was just in this state of panic.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? How do I overcome this? Like, and I started creating all like contingency plans and plan Bs and Cs and Ds and Es. Like, I just went down such a spiral. And then I walked up into my studio, and you know how much I love my studio.
Yeah.
I walked up to my studio and went, no motherfucker's ever going to take this away from me.
Yeah.
Period. Like, I love this place way too much. And I have so much like sweat equity. I've worked way too hard to.
I like that sweat equity.
Sweat equity, like,
it's not even financial. It's like
It's
effort.
like I put blood, sweat, tears, thousands of hours worth of work. And I just said to myself, no one's ever going to take this away from me.
Yeah.
And I literally said to myself, standing in my studio, I said, if I have to work 10 times harder than what I'm already doing to keep this place alive, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I went back to my why. My why of like, why do I have this place? I was thinking like, what does my best friend who works at a dance company out of my studio have to do if I give up? What do my PTs have to do? Like, how does this affect the podcast? How does this affect my videography job? Like, how does it affect like everyone around me who I love and care for? It's like, they all lose if I give up.
Yeah.
You know, everyone takes the biggest hit ever. Like, I have so many people who run their whole business from my company. So like, I'm not giving up. I'll work 10 times harder to keep me afloat and to keep them afloat.
It's funny.
And I went back to that why.
Like, you know, so like, not the same, but kind of the same. So like Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
when he comes to saying,
How do we get to Tom? Okay, go on.
no, so when it comes to like him being offered a film and him saying yes or no, apparently he's super selective about what he says yes to.
Right.
Because if it's a flop, it's not just him that loses.
Right.
It's
whole
every
team.
project that's ever attached to his name in the future.
Ah.
And everyone's payment. So like on a film, if something goes right or wrong, he doesn't affect him, he affects every cast and crew member on that job with him. So it either increases or decreases the value of the product he brings. And also like, did you hear him like that one of him ranting at someone about COVID?
Yeah, he went off.
He went off.
Yeah.
So like we heard that and we were like, this is like, he shouldn't be like this. He shouldn't speak like this. But like, no, like it wasn't about him.
It's about everyone else around
It's
him.
about the other, however many hundreds people on set and the millions of pounds that have gone in that it affects. And the fact that one person would risk everything.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
He's protective of.
He's protective of everything under the name of Tom Cruise on that set. Because he's the front man. He's the face of the set. He's the face of the job. So he is the representative of everything below him. And I don't mean below him as in like, you know, but essentially
like people in the brand.
Yeah, within the brand. I'm not saying he's a better or above anyone, but people are paying to watch him in the film. So he's like going, no, like that, say it was a cameraman, for example, that cameraman fucked up. It doesn't just affect the cameraman and Tom. Tom,
Affects-
like he's my bestie.
My
the
boy.
cameraman and Tom, my guy Tom. It affects everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's your same kind of mentality. It's like this letter and this business, your business dying doesn't just affect you.
affects everyone
It
around me.
affects all the people around
Yeah.
you. And like it sounds silly, but that's how I felt this morning. Me staying in today doesn't just affect
Affected
me.
our brand.
Yeah, it affects you. It affects the work we've already put in. It affects the amount, like how much we've invested in this studio and this equipment. And like when we got here earlier and I sat down, I was like, look at this room.
And it's so sexy.
Like who would think like a year ago that like we'd be here? You know, like I was like, all these things play in and that's what keeps me
Keeps you
getting up.
motivated. So this is like going back to sweat equity. Like I always think how like I've come too far to quit. I've come too far to give up. And I always think about this as I know what being a fuck up looks like. I know what being broke looks like. I know what being unhealthy looks like. I know what being a drinker, a smoker. I know what it looks like. You don't know what I don't know you don't know what I don't know looks like. If I bust my ass off every single day, what does that look like? That excites me. Because
Yeah.
I enjoy my life, but I know I can get to another level and I have no idea what that other level looks like.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting. Because to me, life is about experience.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like sometimes you have bad and sometimes you have good and that's absolutely fine. Like, and that's what drives me as well is like knowing that I get new experiences by working harder, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, sweat equity. I've always think I've gone so far. Why would I quit now?
Yeah, so I think about that. So say like as a performer, I like that. So sweat equity, let's carry that across to performers. So if you're in college and you're like, do you know what? Like I've done 2 years and like I'm still struggling you still love performing or dancing or wherever it is you do, but like you're just like, I'm just struggling like every day to get through this last year. I'm like, just fight, like keep fighting. You've done 2 years, like
you might as well go 3.
Walk away with that degree.
Yeah.
You've already done 2 years of it. So like Kyle, my best friend, who he's been on here plenty of times, like when he was at Bird College, he used to ring me all the time and message me being like, I'm gonna quit. And he was in his, like, going into his 3rd year, or was in his 3rd year. And I'm like, dude, you've already done more than half. Like, don't quit now. Like, because otherwise they're all going to know you as the guy that quit right at the very end. Like, keep going. And he'd be like, yeah, but you quit college. I'm like, I quit after 6 weeks. Like, that's not the same conversation. Like, I wasn't even like, I hadn't even finished the intro portion of the chapter. Like, and I quit. Like, but I quit for a different reason. You're quitting because you're not liking it as much as you did. I quit because I was never going to do musical theatre, and he stayed and he's had an incredible career in musical theatre and it's paid off for him. Do you know what I mean? So that momentarily like, I'm not enjoying it as much as I should, and him wanting to quit. He stayed, he finished it, he's worked for 10 years since.
So it paid off.
It's paid off. He's never been unemployed. Like, within the realm that he trained in. Maybe if he quit, that wouldn't have come to fruition.
Come into fruition. No, I often think, what does this create? What does this turn into? Like, by me sticking out the tough parts of my life, how much more mental endurance, physical endurance, like how much tougher do I become?
Yeah.
Like, what does this turn into? And that's often a thing I go back to as well, is like, who do I become from this experience?
Yeah. What habit does it create?
What habit does this create? And I've said to myself quite a few times, I was like, one day this will be a story of triumph. And that's always been a big motivator for me. Like when I'm in the rut, and I go, this is going to be a story of triumph one day.
Yeah.
And I get to now talk about these stories of triumphs.
Yeah.
And for the record, that letter that came and potentially decimated my company, I did beat.
Let's go.
Fuck the haters. But yeah, like, and now that I've gone through like extreme stress, like what I would call extreme stress, like having to like protect something that you care for and love for. I'm sure that you've had many experiences like that as well. Like that's created a much better, tougher me, but not just as a person, but as a mentor, as a coach,
because you can carry those skills.
Because I can carry those skills off.
Those lessons over.
Like I don't have people work underneath me. I have people work with me all the time. And I can constantly convey my experiences onto them of being broken self-employed or being, at the tough end, or dealing with like harsh clients or like tricky situations. I now have like a euphoria of knowledge. That's a bit egotistical, whatever, to pass on,
Yeah.
So I always think it's not just about me. Okay, how to word this. Me being a great me or a better me doesn't just benefit me, it benefits everyone around me.
Yeah.
If I'm better off financially, I can support the people around me.
Yeah.
If I have more knowledge, I can provide more knowledge. If I'm healthy, I can do the extra work to help the people around me. Like for every percent that I get better is a percent that I can give off to the world around me.
And you as a person, you're a giver.
I'm a massive giver.
Do you know what I mean? Like every person you speak to, you're like, I think I can help you. Or like if you know someone that can help him, you always go, I've got someone that could help you do this. That is always your first, if someone comes to you with an idea, you're like, have you ever thought about trying this? Or
let's do it.
Like, how can I help you do it? Like, and you are a giver in that sense. But in also the sense of being a giver, do you think you're selfish? Because I'm selfish.
Okay, go on.
Like, I'm a selfish person, as in I always prioritize me. Like, to a degree. You know what I mean? If I'm like, no, I have to do this for me, despite of other people, I have to do it for me, because I have to make sure that I'm satisfied and I'm happy. And then when I'm happy, I can help others.
Yeah,
so like,
you can't pour from a glass empty.
That's what I was going to say. So like Dwayne Nosworthy was saying to me the other day, like, if you can't pour water from your cup into someone else's if you have none.
If you have none.
Like, if you have no water in your cup. So he's like, my cup, he always makes sure his cup is full. And I was like, that's a really cool way of wording how my brain works.
Yeah.
Like, I have to make sure that I'm fulfilled and I'm doing what I like to do, and then I can help others. Do you know what I mean? And then I can give as much as me as I can to other people. But if I'm doing shit I hate and I'm unhappy and I'm miserable, I can't help other people.
No.
And I actually become a bad friend. I become a bad partner. I become a bad teacher. I become a bad employee because I'm an unhappy person. Whereas I always fill my cup to help then
to give out
some water to others.
Like, I would say that, but okay.
But
So
some people would deem that selfish.
yeah, because they can't see the longer term prospect.
No, but like a lot of people would be like, oh, you're choosing to do that thing for you over like doing that thing for us or for me.
I'm a believer of a similar analogy is like sometimes a doorway only fits you. And you have to go through that doorway first to then be able to bring people through with you after. You know, and it's like, I'm very similar. I've actually written quite a lot about this is you have to build you up first to then distribute out after. And like where I first thought you were going with this conversation is, do you think you're selfish because you gain something out of giving?
Oh, we all gain something out of giving.
Is like 100%.
100%.
Like it's a selfish.
No one gives to give. Like I don't care what anyone says. Like
we give to receive. Yeah. I do think, and whether that receiving is not necessarily receiving products or services or whatever for someone else.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling. Like, so when I, so this week I went to watch Oti Mabusu tour and I went to watch it and I went to watch 3 students that I've taught, Wilkes students on the show. Yeah, I went to support. They were like, thank you so much for coming to, like, they were all so grateful I was there. Thank you so much for coming to support me. Bet you I felt better than they did.
Yeah. Because you had that proud dad moment.
I had that proud dad moment going, I'm a part of that.
Yeah.
Like, it made me feel proud of them, but it also made me feel fucking proud of me. Like, without me, they could have not been there. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way,
no, but
I'm a part of the journey.
Yeah.
Like, and I could be that one layer that was that got them to that level. And it could be the smallest factor, but it's a factor. And it made me feel proud of them, but it made me feel proud of me. And it made me go, this is why I keep doing this.
This is why I wake up at 5 a.m.
This is why I wake up at 5 a.m. to go travel the country to help a student achieve their dreams. Like, because to see them living their dreams and make them happy is helping me live mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
Shout out to Sinead, Grace, and Stephen. You're all amazing. Also, on that factor, Oti Mabusu tour, it'll probably be finished by the time this episode's out. What an amazing tour.
Right.
One of the best shows I've ever seen.
Is it?
Yeah. Genuinely one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Should go see it. Yeah, I think another process that I went through, like, so when I was like 21, I just moved to this area, which we're in now. Just moved from London, left all my friends behind, blah, 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 blah. And I fell deep into the darkness. To the darkness.
They're a great band.
But yeah. I believe in a thing called love. And I hit like what I considered rock bottom. And that was the lowest point. And when I hit rock bottom, I said to myself, you can't go lower than this. You're at the depths of your despair.
Yeah.
You know, and like the only way here is up. And I know it sounds really cliche. The way I think about this sometimes, and I learned this in a martial art class way back when you have your back up against the wall, you know, no motherfucking can take you from behind. So actually sometimes the wall is your best friend.
Yeah.
And hitting rock bottom, I was like, okay, shit, now we can build a foundation.
Yeah.
Now I can start laying my bricks down because I've hit that bottom. I know I can't go any lower. And that was actually really quite a reassuring moment. It was like, I just felt like the only way I could go was up. And like I had to do so much work on myself to get to that part. And I think one of the things that really helped me get out of the depths was new experiences. So that's when I started learning how to dance. So I walked into my first dance class when I was in a really, really bad mental state, which is now where we are today because of it.
Yeah.
And also spending time by yourself, spending time to really like evaluate who you are and what you need. I think we're so distracted by like phones and careers and friendships and pubs and going out and just doing stupid shit. The moment I stepped away from that, I finally went, oh, what do I want to do? Because I don't like the job that I do. I don't like the people that I'm hanging around with. Whoops. I don't like me to start off with.
I think this was COVID for a lot of people though. Now,
Yeah. COVID was probably like a big realization for a lot of people.
like lockdown was probably this for a lot of people.
And it forced me to evaluate what I valued, what I respected, what I wanted out of my own life. And I had to ask myself those powerful questions. And I actually went and got a bit of professional help at one point. That's another thing. When dealing with lows, go talk to people. People can offer you so much like insight and like substance to give you new reflection. I often look at it like a maze, which is the tattoo on my arm. Is often when we're in the maze, it's hard to know whether to turn left, right, forward, back, whatever. And sometimes you just have to ask that one person who's looking above the maze from a bird's eye view, go, turn left here.
Yeah.
And this brings back a memory. So when I was working in London, I was like 2021, I was working as an electrical wholesaler as a warehouse dude.
So random.
So I've done so many jobs.
So much sales stuff.
Well, no, I was just a warehouse dude. I was bottom of the chain. And fuck you. And I was talking to this guy called Wallace. We called him
Gromit.
No, it wasn't Wallace. We called him H. Can't remember his name. Fuck it. Horace. There we go. Wisest dude I ever met.
Horace. That is a fake word. It's like Boris and Harry at the same time.
We called him H. Coolest motherfucker ever. He was so wise, and he tricked me into moving to this area. He said to me, "Oh yeah, I used to live there. Amazing." And then 6 months after I moved there, I went, that motherfucker's never been here a day in his life. He has no idea what he's talking about, because he knew that I needed to get out of London.
Yeah.
He knew it wasn't right for me at the time. And that one sentence changed everything around me, because he said it was a lovely place.
Hilarious.
And he knew he
it is a lovely place.
It is a lovely place.
Fuck all to do.
Fuck all to do.
But except for podcast. We'll go to the gym. But it's lovely.
But that one person saying, you need to turn left here, was like what I needed to hear.
That's dope.
So talk to people around you, and talk to people who aren't your immediates. And what I mean is the people, like, this sounds like really harsh, but your friends and family aren't the people that will solve your issues. They won't be the people that make you successful. They won't be the people that, because they care too much for you,
they won't tell you the harsh truth. Maybe.
They won't tell you the harsh truth, and they won't tell you the risky, like, to go down the risky path. Path I'm being, because they want to love and protect you, which is obviously lovely. But
unless you have my mum.
She's like, go.
She never gives me an answer.
Does she not?
No, she never answers a question. If I ring her and ask for help, she'll never actually give me an answer.
Is that tactical?
She'll keep questioning me till I figure out my own answer.
Yeah.
And
so she coaches you.
And then she'll get to the point, she'll go, you already know what you want to do. And then she goes, and realistically, you're going to do it. So just stop procrastinating and do it. And that's
like a very coachy style question.
Yeah.
But that's something that I had to learn, definitely, like throughout my kind of early mid-20s, was the people around you are there to support you, but they're not to develop you, I think. Some people, for example, we develop each other.
Yeah.
We give each other the harsh truths, which actually makes you a better friend.
Yeah.
But talk to external individuals in your life.
For sure.
For sure. I went on a bit of a rampage there, sorry.
It was good. I feel like we got a little bit deep on today.
We got a little bit deep.
I don't know if we dealt with all the no's and the lows, but I feel like it's beneficial.
Well, it is, because it's dealing like how do you, it's your mindset towards failures and lows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So to end on a positive note, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Spotify and Apple. You can do it on other things too, but we'd rather you subscribe on just those, so then we can know that you're there. Please share the podcast with your friends and your as family if they want to listen to this. But please, if we could ask one thing, I guess it'd be just to share the podcast. If I'm say so myself, we are putting out some dope content at the moment. So I keep saying to Jake, how are we not like Joe Rogan yet? Maybe that's a bit extreme. A little bit extreme. But like, we're putting loads of effort into bringing you guys the best content we possibly can. So if you do like what we do, if you do like what we do, just please share it, like it, and tell your friends about it. Holla. Follow me at Mr. Change. Follow him at Gibson_media_, and follow at the Ins and Outs podcast. All of those on Instagram, because we don't do anything else yet.
Yet.
Peace out.
One love.
Bye.